Hello, Naughty Squad, and welcome to our first episode of Edcast with Harry. This is my first podcast, and while I was pondering about whom should I interview on my first ever episode, the first name that came to my mind was my own mentor who guided me through my high school and changed me from a noob and carefree boy to a more responsible and a bit more focused person that I am today. Yes, folks, it's none other than the director of Shobha's Group Tuitions, Miss Shobha Iyer. Shobha ma'am, as we students fondly call her, is an experienced entrepreneur who has a master's degree focused in English language and literature and has been in the teaching industry enlightening and guiding students. So guys, let's welcome the Shobha ma'am to our channel. Hello ma'am, welcome to my channel. It's a great honor to have you with us today. I've been with you since 8th standard till 10th standard, and I have benefited from your classes, from like under your guidance along with Hina ma'am, Parul ma'am, Madhusudan sir, Survey sir, and all my mentors. A big thank you to all of you from the bottom of my heart. Without you all, my journey wouldn't have been this easy. But I'm sure my viewers would want to know more about you and our classes. So, ma'am, to start with, can you tell the viewers about how Shobha's group tuition was born and how your journey began?
Okay, thank you, Harshit, so much for inviting me, calling me, and giving me an opportunity to rather address a wonderful crowd like you who are going to rather know what people's journey is like. Because I think we have all grown believing experience is the best teacher, but I guess you need to be a warrior to experience what you experience, right? So I would take you 15 years down lane and say the start of Shobha's group tuitions rather started with me enacting in my school days. I used to enact us and play all alone teacher. So that was where, something kind of, how teachers were kind of people who can influence, people who can train others' minds, and people who can mold the present and the future, whatever the past would be. That was something that really amazed me even at that time. So starting from there in the school, I used to play teacher, placing bowls on the bed, different bowls, and taking a scale in hand and kind of playing an authoritative teacher. Sometimes I would play a very loving teacher who would just maybe kind of put a pat on the back of students who have answered. So I would be the one who would be asking questions. I would be the one who was answering questions. And this kind of a game that really made me go deep into whatever I am learning, or rather made me more attentive a student in the school as well. And so automatically I used to emulate, and that is what I think emulation or modeling somebody is the easiest way of learning in life. And that is what I did. I emulated a teacher, knowing little that I would also become a teacher one day. But then growing in the environment of people who work 9 to 5 job, going into a corporate. So I was working for Unilever, and then I was working for Siemens, I was working for Godrej. So I've been working for these companies as well. But the teacher inside me died somewhere when I went into the corporate, and I completely forgot. Till I delivered my children, and my second child, my son, who needed a little more because he had the learning disability. So I understood that after taking him for various remedial classes, I understood that it is probably I have to, bring the teacher out from me and train him. And this is what I did. And I did some courses abroad and in India and abroad. And then I started making all those charts, and I started, kind of teaching him. And with a couple of people who helped me, I started doing it for more children like him. And that's how it started. So some of these schools rather even allowed me to share those worksheets, and it was purely having a philanthropic attitude, nothing to make money out of it, just to help the society. And the society made me then a teacher who gained everybody's love. And that is how Shobha started. So when people saw the so-called normal children who run in the competition all the time, or rather are made to run in competition, they started approaching me, and I started kind of adding more value and creating more significance to the subjects that we deliver.
Oh,
Marks were never more important than the child. Chiseling the child, honing the child with the skill or having the command over the language, seeing the children as probably journalists and doctors and poets and writers was my further vision, rather than just treating the child as a student. And that is where I think children remember me even today. The number of wishes on Teachers' Day that keep pouring is very well a testimony to the fact.
oh.
So I think I've answered you.
Yes, sir.
Right?
So, ma'am, now as we know that अब पिछले 2 सालों में like दुनिया is completely like due to COVID pandemic, and due
Yeah.
to that there is a new practical subject which is online classes.
Yeah.
So even lockdown mein your classes were going on online, and most of the teachers were new to this technology like Zoom, Teams app, everything. So like what type of difficulties were they that the teachers ne face kiya? Because even the students weren't offline, so like teaching offline is much easier than what it seems to be online.
I think I'm actually enjoying both, because student population has always been a diverse crowd. So even when it was the traditional mode, we call it offline mode, students still were very tech savvy, and students wanted more of the digital kind of education. Possibly they were attracted to it, but they kind of compromised with what is available. Now, when we have gone digital, when lectures are online, the crowd from the student population that always wanted the cultural or the traditional mode, they have compromised and they have understood. So I think children today are available on both the platforms, Now, ultimately, Harshit, it is one thing that we always say: a learner will always want to learn.
Yeah.
Whether it is from a radio or from television series or from a movie or from book, if you have the learner instinct inside, I think platform is not a problem. Of course, teachers like me definitely had that challenge, but it is the challenge that always makes somebody grow, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I believe that that possibly it was, my father always used to say that a child will babble before talking, fabricate before speaking the truth, become selfish before becoming altruistic, and will depend on others before being independent. All of their abilities and morals are subject to the laws of growth. So the task of a teacher is not to force a child into a predetermined pattern, but to guide that growth which comes from whichever platform. Because there is no pattern yet scientifically also proven for growth today, till today. So growth can happen through anything, but what is that anything is even more important. And as far as we teach ourselves and our children, that it is not about letting success get into one's head. It has to go to one's heart. And failure is the reverse. It should never be kept in the heart. It always should go to the head. So with these conditions, with these preconditioning statements, I think we teachers are doing a fab job.
Yeah. And actually speaking, आपके दो तरह के introductions है. You have two introductions as an education entrepreneur, and दूसरा is the introduction as a teacher. So like अभी आपने बताया कि how your teaching journey started, but as Shobha Iyer, what is productivity to you during such a situation?
Okay. Um, I think productivity always shines when we know how to live with less.
Yeah.
Okay. So, from being a teacher, I did not confine myself to only be a teacher, but a teacher who is still a learner, who looks forward to learning every time from the curious minds of the students, took me to become an entrepreneur, right?
Yeah.
So, the art is all about knowing how to live with less and then going for more. My point of view when I became, or rather, when people call me an entrepreneur, I feel I still have to give so much back to the society, so much for the society.
Yeah.
Correct? So I just don't teach. I rather read the body language of the children. I rather read the expressions on their faces. And that is why we have come up with courses like mindfulness and emotional quotient and stuff like that. So, um, and I don't feel any kind of difference or really any difficulty playing the dual role. Being a teacher helps me get connected to the students and to the parents. And being an entrepreneur, I understand the responsibility of the teacher to become even furthermore. So that's how I think. But being an entrepreneur gives me an edge because I'm accessible to all teachers and all platforms and all possibly investors and other business people.
Yeah. And ma'am, actually, when I called you for appointment for my podcast, you said that you were at Coimbatore for a project related to women empowerment. So, if possible, can you
Uh,
tell us about it and your experience?
Actually, I was at Coimbatore with a woman, with a very honored woman who is already the president of Women Empowerment Zone, the community. I was just with her. I would love to work with her, but as of now, nothing has clicked on women empowerment. But
Okay.
I think my personal experience or my personal thing is, I will always say that a healed woman is always powerful. You understand? A healed woman is always powerful, and a focused man is always dangerous. So if a woman has been, has undergone any kind of a wound, it could be mental, physical, spiritual, any wound, she is going to be powerful. So I think women by themselves are very empowered, provided they understand what has really wounded them and how they have come up healing themselves. And I think that's the story about women empowerment. So I don't guess anybody else needs to even enter into a woman's life to show that she can empower herself. If you are hurt, if you have suffered, if you are, if you have borne the brunt, then I think you are already, and you are still alive, you're still going on with your journey, then I think you're empowered already.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So, who are your three biggest idols? Like, you are an educator, so outside the world of education, where do you draw your inspiration from?
Outside the world of education, my first inspiration and idol is my father, because I don't think I ever stopped quoting him anywhere. Um, he was not very qualified, and thanks because he was not qualified, I never had the kind of dying spirit in me. Why should I learn? I'm still a good learner. Okay. The second inspiration is, um, I think, my mentor, Dr. Yogesh Pawar. Um, he's taught me how to solve problems, identify and solve them. It is not about cribbing. It is not about, and always adding more value to what I'm doing. So I owe my growth to him completely. And the third one, I think I must take the name of my son. Had he been like everybody else, I wouldn't have become what I am today. So I think he is that opportunity for me who showed me the mirror. So I'm thankful to all the three.
Oh, and this question is a bit different, but अगर आप 15-16 year old शोभा अय्यर से आज मिलेंगे, so what is the message that you would like to give her?
जा सिमरन जी ले अपनी जिंदगी enjoy, explore, experience. It is never going to be a simple, smooth, rosy journey, and all kind of difficulties, adventurous. I'm very, very adventurous, very creative, very innovative. That's how I want that 15-year-old Shobha to be again. Go explore. Nothing can stop you. If you feel life isn't good, it really isn't good. If you feel it is beautiful, it is extremely beautiful. I think I will definitely want to quote the Pygmalion theory here, where there was a sculptor who sculpted a very beautiful sculpture and just prayed that this should come to that, and he named that statue Galatea. He wanted that Galatea to come true and come to life, and that happened. So I think if you can blow life into even a statue, though it is mythology, but I think it is in reality, it is also possible.
Yeah. And
Looking at Elon Musk doing the impossible, I think 15-year-old Shobha should take all the more chances to make the impossible possible and leave a legacy. Don't die unsung. Leave a legacy.
And do you regret not trying or doing something in your life?
Yeah, I regret not having learned swimming and little phobia of water. Baki kuch maine choda nahi. And I think, I don't regret anything else.
And you actually are.
Because everything is our own decision, right?
Yeah.
Everything is our decision. गलती तो एक ही बार होगा, बाकी सब अपना डिसीजन है.
Yeah.
तो अगर डिसीजन ही मैंने लिया है तो गलत है तो ठीक है, गलत है. I don't regret. ठीक है, no problem.
And if not Shobha ma'am of Shobha's group tuitions, what would you have been? Like, which career would you have chosen?
I would have been, I think first is I would have been an air hostess. I loved that. Flying and exploring lands. That is what I used to think at that time. And the second one is I always wanted to marry a businessman. So I think business was something which I wanted to do. So, which I am doing now.
Yeah. So lastly, what is the message you would like to give to the youth today?
One piece of advice.
Yes, ma'am.
I will always say I want my students or all the teenagers, all youngsters to know why they are here on this planet and take baby steps to move towards their destination. I don't know if it will take them towards success or not, but at least it will keep them moving, or at least it will keep them in a pleasant state of mind for a longer time. And I just hope that every teenager understands what is his choice of life. Don't become someone else's choice. And take to reading. That's what I love doing. And if it doesn't give you anything in return, at least you will discover yourself a little better.
So, ma'am, can you suggest a few books that my viewers and we can read to know a lot about life and such topics?
Of course, a lot of them. In fact, start with anything. I love mythology. Okay, so I think it depends on their interest. People do read so many of them. Like you can start with Paulo Coelho. You can read maybe Robin Sharma. You can read. I even read Tagore. I can read Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. So through stories, there are so many life lessons that come out. So many. I love books on successful people or maybe leadership, anything like that. Anything that comes in front of you, you should be able to read it. Not expecting anything from it, but only helping you discover more about yourself.
Okay, yeah. So that was for today, ma'am. Thank you for joining us for this beautiful podcast. Actually, this was my first ever episode, and there are many episodes coming after these. So, thank you so much for joining, ma'am.
I'm so happy, Harshit, you chose me for the first one. I hope you do really very well. And thank you for being so different and unique and keep up this uniqueness. God bless you.
Thank you, ma'am. So, guys, that was today's podcast. I hope you liked this video. If you liked it, do like the video, subscribe to my channel. We are about to hit 250. That was it for today. I hope you liked this video. Do hit the like button, do subscribe, do hit the bell icon, ऐसे टंग करके बजा दो, and set it to all, and friends, family, colleague, boss, teachers के साथ भी share करो ये, and अपने parents को भी दिखाओ. You also watch it. Like हाँ. एंड आई होप आप लोग को मज़ा आया होगा. कमेंट्स में बताओ कि आप लोगों को कैसा लगा, एंड मिलते हैं अगले वीडियो में. तब तक के लिए बाय बाय.